The last video I uploaded, I genuinely thought that was my lowest trading point, but I was wrong because last week got so much worse. I had funded accounts that get blown, I had platform issues, confusion, stress, anger. Few moments again where I genuinely wondered why I was just like losing it. What was I doing? But after stepping away from the screens, letting everything settle down, I realised something really important. And so this week's video isn't actually about losing accounts, a little bit, but it's about how far I've come. And honestly, that's a reason I think a lot of traders miss. That's a lesson that a lot of traders miss. So 7 months ago, I didn't know what a prop firm was. I didn't know what futures trading, how it worked, what it was. I didn't know how to read a chart properly. I didn't know what drawdown meant. I didn't know what consistency rules were. Until really recently, I was blowing accounts regularly. Every other week felt like a disaster where I didn't know what I was doing. Every loss felt personal. Genuinely didn't think, that this was for me a lot of the time. But then fast forward to today. I have passed multiple evaluations. I've activated multiple funded accounts. I've started planning the payouts instead of planning how I'm going to pass the evaluations. That's definitely not the same trader as 7 or even a few months ago, not even close. And sometimes I think it's important to stop looking at the last trade and start looking at the last few months, the last 6 months, the last 12 months, however long your journey's been, because when you do that, the progress is actually pretty obvious. So let's talk about those funded accounts that got blown. I'm not here to name names and what prop firm or which trading platform. And to be fair, having raised multiple times with both and neither taking any level of responsibility, I don't think I'll ever get a satisfactory answer about what happened. I just know it definitely wasn't from my end. I've gone backwards on that, I've gone forwards on that, I've reviewed it, I've looked at the screenshots, I've looked at the execution, I've looked at my computer, I've looked at, and honestly, I think I deserve to call out the behaviour. Not because I'm angry anymore, not because I'm looking for someone to blame or looking to name and shame, but because if traders are paying for a service, reliability really matters a lot. And here's the important bit. I really do know the difference between a bad trade and a platform event, and this was definitely the latter. When I take a bad trade, I normally know really quickly. I've chased price, I've forced trades, I've gone in way too early on trades. Still think that's kind of one of my biggest issues now that I'm working through. I've ignored my rules, I've sized too big, whatever it is. I always know, I always have known. This was incredibly different. And the reason it felt different is because it didn't fit my recent behaviour at all. And it happened multiple times over a couple of weeks. I just explained it away too easily. And when I reached out to kind of back end support, their reasoning just kind of solidified why I explained it away too easily. But I guess what I would say is pick your prop firm and charting platforms really carefully. Try out a few. Deal with the customer service. Note down all the pros and cons. If you don't feel you're getting the service or reliability that we all deserve, trying to master this really hard role as traders, move away from them. Because I know on these occasions, this definitely wasn't me. over the last few months, I've been trading smaller, stopping earlier, protecting accounts better, recovering losses instead of spiraling, being more disciplined, being slightly more patient. And that's why last week really hit differently. But here's where I've changed as a trader. 7 months ago, 6 months ago, 5, 4, 3 months ago, I probably would have spiraled. I would have revenge traded. I would have bought even more evaluations. I would have doubled my sizes. I would have tried to make it all back immediately and blown even more accounts. Instead, I stepped back from it. I looked at the facts, and the facts are actually really pretty simple. I don't need to trade with that platform. I don't need to trade with that prop firm. There are so many others to choose from. I still have multiple active funded accounts. I still have those accounts moving into payout territory. Still have opportunity. Nothing's fundamentally changed. The only thing that's changed is that I have had a really rough week. Rough weeks happen, don't they? Happen in trading, happen in business, they happen in life. You just kind of got to get on with it. And the question isn't whether they happen, the question's what you do next. And oddly enough, I feel more positive than I did even a few weeks ago. Not because everything's perfect, definitely not, but because I've kind of got more of that clarity. For a little while, I've been experimenting with different firms, different platforms, different setups, but not actually as much recently. I've been trying to work out what works best for me, and the last week helped me kind of make a decision around that. My future's probably not with that prop firm. It's probably a different one. Payout structures suit me better. The rules help keep me more disciplined. The environment suits me better. The experience suits me better. And as for the other prop firm and the other charting platform, I'm looking at it as it was just my prop firm training wheels platform. The charting platform too really helped me get comfortable with charting, confident at placing and managing trades. But I'm probably not building a long-term future with either of them, and that's fine. That is okay. Sometimes losing something teaches you exactly where you're meant to go next. I've also started learning a couple other charting platforms too, and I'd be really interested to know which prop firms and trading platforms that you rate highly and your reasons for that. So pop a comment below. I'll read every comment. I've been using rhythmic synced ones. I use MacBook to trade, and I'm not ready to get down the NinjaTrader Tradovate route yet. So I still feel like I've got my training wheels on, I'd say. But the key point is I'm progressing. Progress matters. Every skill I learn now makes future problems easier to solve. If you're watching this and you're early in your trading journey like me, here's what I'd like you to take away from this as well. Don't judge yourself based on one bad day or one bad week. Don't judge yourself based on one account or blowing multiple accounts. Definitely don't judge yourself based on one bad period. Look at where you were 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 9 months ago, 12 months ago, and look at what you've learned. Look at where you've improved and what you've improved. Because trading progress is rarely, it's a bit like the charts, it's never going to be a straight line. It's rarely a straight line. Most of the time it looks messy. You move forwards, you move backwards, you move sideways. Then suddenly, one day, you realise you've become someone who can handle situations that you couldn't in the near past. And that's growth. Not perfect trading, growth. We are all works in progress, and I will see you in next videos update with a more positive outcome, I'm sure.